All right, hi. So we're going to look at how to create a climatology map using Xarray, Matplotlib, and NumPy and CartiPy. So first, you want to get your environment set up. For this environment, I will be using an environment I created. I'm using a Jupyter notebook, but you can use whatever IDE you want to use, or Python package you want to Python program you want to use. So let's click on that. All right, so first thing we want to do is we want to import our necessary packages. So we're going to import Xarray as XR. We're going to import matplotlib, matplotlib.pyplot as PLT. We're going to import CartiPy, CRS as CRS. And we're going to do C feature because we want to put some of the states and boundaries and things like that. And when I started learning this, I couldn't find a lot of information on how to create climatologies on YouTube, so I figured I'd make this video. First, we're going to read in the files. It could be from your local machine, or if you're working with a supercomputer, anything like that. So we're going to say ds is equal to xr.open_dataset. And then we're just going to read everything in. For this project, if I can spell my name, Tmax at GridMet. I will be using GridMet. And you can find that online. It's just an open source data set that has daily maximum minimum temperatures of the United States only. So if you're looking only just to work with United States information and data, I would use GridMet. And they also have high fine resolution, about 4 kilometers. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to set up the time, because GridMet uses 1979 to 2022, or I guess 2023. They use up until yesterday. But we're doing a climatology, so a climatology is usually 30 years, and so our most recent climatology is going to be 1991 to 2020. So we're going to set the time for analysis, and we're going to say the start date is going to be 1990 instead of 1991, because December is counted into that DJF if you're doing analysis for seasons. And then our end date is going to be the end of 2012/31. So now we have our start and our end date, and then we can slice this. So we can just choose. This is the chunk of period we want to look at, and this is what we want to graph, right? So we say we can subset this, and we'll select it, and we'll say day. I use day here, just a heads up, because GridMet uses in their NC file, day is considered their time. So you may more than likely will have time instead of day, but here we use day. And then we want to calculate the climatology, so we can just set that to a variable, and within the subset, we're going to look at the variable Tmax, right? Because I'm just simply doing a climatology of maximum temperature. And then we're going to group that by day.year, which again, you would use time.year, as I've learned throughout my time. And we're going to take that over the mean of day instead of time, right? Because day is essentially the variable that is used for GridMet. With GridMet, we have to convert, right? So we need to convert from Kelvin to Celsius. So climatology conversion. And we could just say climatology. We don't need capital. And it's just the climatology minus 273.15. And that is just simply taking it from Kelvin to Celsius, right? It's more known. Next, we want to do is we want to plot the climatology plot. So we're going to choose our projection, and we're going to use Platecare. I don't know if these are spelled correctly or said correctly. And then we're gonna make our figure and our axis, and we're gonna say make subplots, excuse me, and rows. This is just one plot, one, you know, you won't see anything other than that. Big size. You can change it to what you want it to be. We'll just do 10:6 right now. And then the subplot will be the projection, right? Which we already defined earlier. Projection, and it's just projection. Make sure I'm spelling that correctly. And then we need to close it, right? Make sure we're closing our parentheses. And then we can just set the titles and do some extra features here. So we can do AX set title. I'm just going to say grid met, maximum temperature, climatology, 1991. I know we started in 1990, but 1991 is how it's pretty much basically said. And then we'll close it. Okay. And then we can set, we want to use the extent. We could do ax.extent. And that is basically showing the latitude and longitude of what we want to see. So we're going to be using the ds, which we read here and earlier, right? And then we're going to use lon.min. And we're going to do the same ds.lon.max. And then we're going to do the same thing for lat.min and ds.lat.max, right? And then we use a close bracket, close that off, and then again, CRS is just going to be projection. Here we can add some features. So AX add feature. We say C feature dot coastline, and this all has to be in capitalized. We'll just do the line width 0.5. These can change. Whoops, I forgot to close it. And you can change them to whatever you want. And then we're going to do the states. State. Same. I'm just going to use the same line width for everything. 0.5. And then we're going to do borders for Canada. Borders. I think it's with an S. Yeah. Line width 0.5 again. And then we can add the ocean as well. So ax.add feature, and then you can change the color of what you want things to be, but we're just going to keep everything as it should be. And then we're going to plot it. So IM equals, we're going to do a P color mesh, right? So that is basically taking, instead of a contour line, we're going to look at a like each gridded cell. Now remember that GridMet uses 4 kilometer like fine resolution, so it's going to look very fine. It won't be, it won't have those blocks that you would see if you were to use like CPC data, right? And there's other datas out there that are just as good, and some are, a little bit more coarse. And so let's use CMAP is going to be cool warm. That's just a generic color map that we can use. And then we need to say transform projection. All right, we're almost done. And then I like to always put like a little annotation in the map. that kind of tells where I'm getting my data from, right? So we're going to say grid map. Oops, there we go. And we're going to put that at 0.05 and 0.05 and 0.08. And you'll see that that's basically the X and Y coordinates of the map itself. And so this is called axis fraction. And then you can, make the font size what you want. The bounding box is going to be the dictionary of face color. We're going to be white. And the edge color can be black, just basic information. Like I said, if anybody finds this information useful, we can go into more in-depth ways to look at geospatial analysis and statistical analysis. Just feel free to leave a comment below, right? Okay, whoops. And then box style is going to be a round pad, round. We're going to pad that at 0.05. And then I think we've closed everything. Let's see. We've got that one. One there. Oh, we didn't need this one closed. There we go. So now everything's closed, right? And then we want to put our color bar at the bottom, right? Because that way we can tell the reader what they're looking at. Axis is equal to axis. Sometimes I don't like putting too many spaces. The orientation is going to be horizontal because I don't like vertical color bars. That's kind of weird. And the label is just going to be temperature, and we'll just say C. And we can pad that at 0.03. Okay. Do we have too many extra? Okay, what? One, two. I think that's right? Yeah, okay. And then we're almost done, although it's acting like it's not right. Let's make sure that we have the enough. So 1, 2, 1. There's one there. Okay, yeah, I think we're good. And then we would say fig subplots. We can adjust this. So some W space is basically just extra syntax that kind of helps the presentation of it. The one way to save this is you could save the figure into whatever you want to say, right? Figure save here to whatever directory you're looking at, .png. And then that way you can have a nice PNG figure. And then make sure you put DPI is equal to 300 and box inches is equal to tight, right? I'm gonna comment this line out because I already have too many figures saved. I don't need any more, but that is one that you could use. So we don't need these. And then last, we could just say plot show. And if we didn't do anything incorrectly with the amount of parentheses we have, which I think we're okay, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, we could just enter. Oh, so we do have a problem here. Label temperature C. Where are you? Let's see. Oh, we forgot to close this. That is the problem. There we go. So make sure you close your parentheses on any kind of variables that you're giving things. There we go. So now we'll just run this and see how it goes. It might take a few minutes. So during this time, talk to you and tell you who I am. My name is Sean. I'm a master's student, and I am looking at extreme events. And if you find this video helpful, please like, and we can go over intense, more in-depth climate variables and how to plot them, and how to what kind of the questions are we looking for. This is kind of just like my first video into explaining my thought process into how things work, and I hope that you can stick around for my journey, and then maybe we can make some cool maps together. Yeah, especially with climate being the way it is, and everything changing, that we need more individuals who are more concerned about this kind of things. So I will probably pause the video at this point and wait for the map to show up. You can see here, we can open it in a new tab. Let's take a look, and it looks pretty good. So if you have any more questions or anything that you would like to see, once again, please leave a comment and a like on the video. All right, see you guys later.